Australians still love to cruise. New Zealand removes its vaccination requirement for cruising, and Pinot Australia announces a new season along with some significant changes. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. I produce cruise-related content every week right here on YouTube, so if you haven't done so yet, I would appreciate it if you could give that subscribe button a click. We all know that Australians love a cruise, and it turns out that over 450,000 of us have actually set sail after last year's cruise resumption, not even 12 months ago. That's a big number for a cruise season that didn't properly kick off until the later part of last year, and is a good indication that we are in for a bumper summer cruise season coming up at the end of this year, and we expect around 60 international cruise ships to be sailing in our region. Onwards and upwards, I say. Being vaccinated against COVID-19 is no longer a requirement to cruise from New Zealand. The country, which delayed its cruise restart even longer than Australia, has seemingly taken the first long-awaited steps in removing the health requirement. In anticipation of Pacific Explorer's upcoming New Zealand season, P&O released a statement that reads, "While COVID-19 vaccinations are not a requirement to cruise out of New Zealand, excluding selected itineraries sailing to Australia, of course, and Norfolk Island, it is recommended that guests are up to date with their COVID-19 vaccination, including any available boosters where eligible. Furthermore, a pre-cruise negative COVID test is also not required to sail from New Zealand unless the ship is sailing to Australia or Norfolk Island." The question is, when will Australia follow suit? In late April, Cruise Passenger published an article which relayed statements from New South Wales state government spokespeople. The statements essentially said that the government was not in a position to indicate the process or timing surrounding reviewing the cruise protocols. The Victorian state government went a step further, with the Department of Premier and Cabinet saying that it really isn't their responsibility, and they pointed the finger at the federal government. Obviously, they don't understand that the Eastern Seaboard and Western Australian cruise protocols were a product of the collaboration between state governments and the cruise lines. The federal government promptly pointed the finger back at the states. Welcome to politics. Despite all of that, I have for a while now suggested that any changes to the protocols would likely happen between the end of the summer cruise season and the beginning of the next summer cruise season starting later this year. I do still feel that way, and although I cannot say it with certainty, I have a feeling that especially now that New Zealand has changed their requirements, Australia will soon follow suit. Stay tuned, I will keep you updated about any changes. P&O Australia have announced their newest cruise season, which runs from July 2024 to June 2025. The season will see all three of its ships continue sailing locally, with Pacific Adventure from Sydney, Encounter from Brisbane, and Explorer sailing from Melbourne, Adelaide, Fremantle, and Auckland. In addition, there are new themed short break cruises with 90s and noughties, disco glam, and Aussie classics all being featured throughout the new season. There's also a new show to look forward to called One, which will feature exclusively on Encounter and Adventure on cruises of 3 or more nights. The big changes, though, come in the expansion of access to Byron Beach Club, plus the elimination of the cap on the number of children that can be on board any one cruise. Effective immediately, the previous cap on the number of children on board has been eliminated. Sister line Carnival already operates without a cap in place, and P&O will now follow. There will still be a limit on the number of kids admitted to the highly regarded kids clubs though, so as always it's recommended that parents register for kids clubs in P&O's cruise control as soon as they've made a booking. Further, all guests who book an MA category mini suite will, from all sailings departing on or after July 1st, 2023, have access to the Byron Beach Club. This expanded access will allow more people to utilize the club and its perks, including the signature Byron Beach Club breakfast exclusively held in Angelo's restaurant. The MA category mini suites are arguably in a better location than the existing M1 Byron Beach mini suites, as they are all positioned in the more desirable midship location. The expansion of passenger eligibility is reportedly an attempt by P&O to see more people utilize the beach club area. Finally this week, Holland America line celebrated its 150-year anniversary in Sydney, and I was invited along to the party. The cruise line hosted the celebrations in inner Sydney with live music, a sea of orange tulips, delicious food, and a few drinks. It was an epic night to mark a tremendous milestone for a company that is so rooted in maritime history. Today, Holland America operate a fleet of mid-sized ships, none of which exceed 100,000 gross tons, and they sail to all corners of the globe. Well, that's it for this week's cruise news update. Wherever you are, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to book a cruise, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au. If you haven't done so already, please give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at thecruiseandtravelguy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Unless, of course, they sail to Australia or Norfolk Island. Provided that the ship does not sail to Australia or Norfolk. Can't say Norfolk. Furthermore, a pre-cruise negative to comment or speculate on any... In late April, Cruise Passenger published an article which indicated that New South Wales government spokespeople commented that this is not good. I have for a while now suggested that any changes to the protocols were likely to happen at the conclusion of after.